you won't know if you're going to fail at something until you try. And I want to further debunk that and go and take this even further as to let's define failure. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Limitless Conversations Podcast. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, I am your host and favorite friend, Sean, and you can find me at Authentically Sean on all social media. And here on this podcast, we talk about expanding and being our best and limitless selves. We understand where we are believing that we are limited and we bust through those limitations. So, you guys, welcome to the finale. Oh my gosh, I feel so many emotions because this season of the podcast has really been like the first season. It was about vulnerability, me being open and transparent and sharing a lot of emotions and just conquering vulnerability here. And season 2 has really been for me the becoming process, the changing my mindset process, and sharing the encouragement. And this episode is going to be no different, y'all. This episode is going to be no different, but sharing the encouragement, sharing the upliftment, sharing the mindset shifts that I am doing that are helping me to feel so at peace and joyous about my life. Like I'm in a really good space. I'm feeling good about who I am and where I'm going and what I'm doing and how I am showing up to the world. And that directly correlates to what we're talking about today, which is showing up for the world, getting started on your dreams, getting started on your lifestyle changes, getting started on whatever goal that you have. Today, we're talking about the mindsets that need to be released to accomplish these goals of yours, to get started on these goals. And we're going to be adapting brand new mindsets. Okay. So before that, let's just catch up. Did y'all hear a new intro? Your favorite friend? Yeah. Let me tell you how that came about, because I really realized I was kind of thinking about people in my life recently, and I'm like, yo, everyone in my life, no one wants to share me. Everyone just wants me to be theirs, their possession. And I just kind of laughed at that because I had been trying to figure out what I wanted to be on the internet. You know, some people are like, I'm your rich auntie, or I'm your big sister, or I'm your best friend, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, what is my thing? And I'm like, I'm everyone's favorite friend. And if y'all don't believe me, ask my friends. Okay. Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. Okay. So I was like, I'm the favorite friend. And all of my friends don't want to share me. But you know what? I get it. Because sometimes I don't want to share my friends either. The thing is, I actually don't mind. Okay, and y'all tell me if y'all relate. I actually don't mind sharing my friends. But it's more like, I just want to be number one. Like, you can have other friends. But when I call, answer my calls. I was talking to my cousin the other day, right? And we were talking about if we had met more cousins of ours or whatever. And she's like, basically, you wouldn't want me shooting in the gym. Like, nah, we can't be cool now. And I'm like, I'd be open to new cousins. And her cousin's like, you don't need no other cousins. You don't need no other cousins. I said, I'm gonna introduce y'all. And I was like, I'm gonna introduce y'all. Like, hey, this is my cousin. And she gonna be like, nah, we good. We good. We don't need nobody else around here. So that's kind of where that spark came from. Cause I just realized that, can you guys hear me smacking my leg? Oh, sorry, thick. I'm just kidding. I have more shorts. That's why, if you guys can hear, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop doing that. But yeah, I'm like, no one wants to share, and I'm the same with my friends. And it's just the realization that we always just want to be number one. We always want to be people's favorites. And I like to be number one. I don't ever want to be number two. It's who you like more than me? Who you want to talk to more than me? Who you want to hang out with more than me? And if it is somebody else, it's like, I don't like it. So I get it. I get it how people are with me as well. No one wants to share me. And I get it. Because we all just want to be somebody's number one. But you know who's number one we are? God. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. Also, guys, another catch up. I'm in school now. And I think in season 3, I want to start a segment where I share with y'all some of the things that I'm learning in school. I don't know what the segment's going to be called yet. But I like this, today. So Today I learned about all the different learning styles, and it's called ARC. Audio learners, visual learners, read/write learners, and kinetic learners. And you know how, like, you know things about, what fascinates me is, like, you know how you know things. And even though you know the things, it's good to see, like, this, that it's been researched and other people have already proven the thing that you just innately, intuitively know. So there's, like, certain things I know about my learning style, but just, like, I've been really into just reading all the resources and getting myself back in the flow of being in school. Like, I need to remember how to APA cite papers and how to write scholarly papers. Like, I need the refresher. So I'm all into this class. I'm really enjoying the things, and it's just like, it just taught me. It made so much sense to me when I did my learning test, because my main learning styles were A and R, A and K, A and K. And it wasn't audio. It was auroral or something. Like, I don't have my phone near me, so I can't properly quote you guys, but it was like auroral or something like that. And essentially what it was I learned from, like, audio, from hearing things like podcasts and videos, and reading out loud and hearing it back and having discussions with people, like, makes so much sense. And then when I was looking through, I'm like, wow, well, of course, that's why I want to have a podcast, because that's how I learn. And so inevitably, of course, I would want to share that way. So when I saw the podcast and, like, video, I was like, yeah, that's very on brand for me. And then the other was kinetic, which is about being hands-on, like trial and error and moving around while you're learning or acting out the thing. The other part for Aurora was, like, discussion, but yeah, acting out the things. And I'm like, that's so on point, because what do I talk about on this podcast? My life journey and the ways that I am learning and the ways that even I'm watching the people around me learn. So I just thought it was so fascinating. And I want to know, have you guys looked into what your learning style is? And if you haven't, I don't know. I think everyone should do it. The test was free. Like, it was just some link that they gave me, and it was a few questions. Read/write was my lowest, because it's like, even today I was at the park reading my book, Psycho-Cybernetics, you guys. And, like, when I read books, I really retain it when I read it out loud. So it makes a lot of sense, because I, like, have to be even theatrical. Like, I have to do different voices for different people. I, like, make up tones and all that stuff, because it just helps my mind to process. So I would really encourage you guys. I'll link it. I'll link the test in the description if you guys are interested, because I just thought it was dope to understand how my brain. I think the more you understand yourself, the better you can navigate life. And so with me learning understanding now my learning styles, it's like, okay, perfect. Now I know, like, I need to be engaging in discussions with people, throughout the class. I need to talk to my friends about the things that I'm learning. I need to give, like, another thing was the, for the Aurora one, it was like, what was it? It was, what was this thing that I love? I love to do these. It's like, when you're giving, I'm so blanking on this word right now. It's like when you're trying to give an example, but you're giving a real life, that might have been kinetic, but you're giving a real life practical way. And there's another word that's not practical. It's analogies. I love analogies. Like, that helps me. I think Aurora was also, like, learning through, like, jokes and humors and discussions. So all that kind of stuff. It was just really fascinating to me. So yeah, I'll link it below if y'all are interested, and let me know what comes up for y'all. Are y'all, like, read right? That was my lowest one. Are you guys Aurora as well? I'm probably watching that name, but are y'all kinetic? Like, I want to know. I really do. I'm not just saying that. I really do want to know. So I feel like it was YARK, but ARK. It was one other one. ARK. No, was it VARK? It might have been VARK. V for visual. So anyway, yeah, I want to start. That's my what Sean learned today. I don't know what it's going to be called, but that's what I learned today. And it just fascinated me. I thought it was super dope and super on brand. It's like when you read your zodiac signs and it's like, yeah, that's me. That's very much me. So Yeah, but in closing out this season, guys, I'm emotional because I'm really proud of the body of work that I've put out here. I'm really proud of the content that I put out. And so it inspired this conversation today around I was talking to God about what are the, like going through my journey and what were the things that I needed to get started? What were the things that I needed to be get moving on the things that I wanted? And so I'm like, you know what? This is what we're talking about today. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna give y'all all the hacks, all the cheat codes, all the mindset shifts that I made to help me get started and be at peace and be at joy and be satisfied with what I am doing and where I am in my process. So let's go ahead and roll in. Y'all know I have notes because if y'all just let me ramble, child, we gonna get there, but we're gonna take the scenic route. So the first mindset that we are releasing. So what we're going to be talking about is mindsets to release, and we're going to be adapting new mindsets. So the first mindset that we're going to release is I don't have what I need. When it comes to getting started on your goals and your lifestyles and the new things you want to do in your life, like a lot of times, I know for me, a lot of times I felt like I didn't have what I needed. I wasn't equipped enough. I wasn't smart enough. I didn't know enough. I didn't have the equipment that I needed. I might not have had the resources that I needed, whatever. So I had these mindsets of I don't have what I need to get started, right? I don't have enough. And the biggest thing that has taught me through my journey with this is that step one is not step 100. And you don't start where you finish. So the thing is, a lot of times we're looking at, and I know in my journey I have to, I've looked at step 100 and felt like, well, I don't have what I need to be at step 100. And it's like, well, yeah, sometimes you don't have what you need to go to step 100, but you have what you need to start at step one. You have, sorry, the person above me took a tumble or something. You have what you need to start at step one. And if you can just open up your mind to see that perspective, then you will allow yourself to see how resourceful and abundant the universe really is. I remember this when I was thinking about doing the podcast on the go, and I was going to do an episode in my car. And I'm like, yeah, I went up to my car, but I don't have like a car mount. I don't have lavalier mics. Those are the mics you kind of clip onto your clothes. And those are the mics you clip onto your clothes. I don't have lavalier mics. I don't have a thing to keep the camera stationary. You know, all these things I'm thinking about. And God was like, you have everything you need to do it. You have everything you need to do. You have a camera. You have a phone. Y'all have hands. Y'all can hold it. The mic that's on the camera will be just fine. Like just do it. You have exactly what you need to go to step one. Now maybe when you want to professionally do things or whatever, when you want to have it as the vision of how you envision it being in the final product, but you already have what you need for step one. So that's a big part. Let's see. To finish, you're being asked to just start. Yes. Okay. Another thing was the experiences. God was talking about people who feel like they need more experience in something to get started. Well, the beautiful thing is that the universe is abundant and God is so good to us. The universe is so good to us that we have so many resources, especially with social media, especially with YouTube University. We can find where to start from a simple Google search. We can find information on a subject from a simple Google search. So if you feel like you're lacking experience, then educate yourself. Look through this, coming through for a reason, but look through your arsenal of what you're already educated on, right? Obviously, you can't talk about things that you can't give an expertise on something that you haven't experienced, right? But you can talk about the things that you have been through. Even for me, when I was thinking about my platform and what I wanted to bring, I'm like, well, Sean, what have you mastered? And I'm like, I've mastered shifting my perspective. I've mastered dropping old mindsets and putting in new ones that are more aligned with a higher vibrating timeline. That is what I've mastered. And so when it comes to this platform, that's what I share because that's what I've done really, really well. And so if you feel like you don't have an experience, God wanted me to say, educate yourself, look through your arsenal of which you already have learned, and I bet you'll find some really, really great things that you thought you forgot, that you forgot you knew, or that you felt like you weren't equipped to do. But if you feel like that, educate yourself on first steps, and then also the second part to that is don't get stuck in education, because you can learn. So I don't know what they're doing up there, but you can learn so much and never start. And we talked about this in episode 8, I believe, where I spoke about not taking the leap or not going forward because you're too busy trying to learn, but really that's keeping you stagnant. So don't focus too long on that. If it's resources, get out, and you have 2 feet. Get out into your community. If you want to be a politician, get out into your community. Start doing things. Start being a part of the community. I mean, you may not have step 100, which is where you are the president or the mayor or, sitting in the courthouse, whatever your thing is. You may not have that yet, right? But you have everything you need to start right now. You have resources. The universe is abundant. You have your spirit, your mind, what God has given you, what God has given into you, and you're already equipped. You're well equipped. Okay, if you want to start a social media podcast or platform, you may not have a camera, but you got a cell phone, and the iPhone cameras be crisp. So we are dropping the mindset of I don't have what I need, and instead we are adopting a new mindset. And here we go. So we're going to adapt the mindset of I live in an abundant universe and I have all that I need in this very moment. And then you can add this prayer to it. God, allow me to see just how resourceful you are. Sometimes you just need to open your eyes to the abundance around you. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to close that one there. Number 2, this one is definitely for like people who are my entrepreneurs. And this mindset is that the mindset that we're going to release next is someone has already done it. Someone's already done it. So people are already doing podcasts. People already have the makeup line. People have already invented that product. People are, the gag is, and what God was talking to me about too today was, there's nothing new under the sun, babes. There's nothing new being invented. I promise you, it is all the same. The only thing that is ever happening is that it is becoming more modern. It is adapting to the way that we live now, but the things are the same at their base. So there's nothing new being created. It has all already been done. The formats might be different. The way it's done might be different, but it is all already been done. Okay. So remember that. The only thing that's changing is it is evolving with us. It is evolving with the times. It's becoming more modern. So for example, my thing is podcasting, right? Before it was called podcasting, or before it was a podcast, it was talk radio, right? Where you turn on the station and the people would just be talking about stuff on the radio. Now it's podcasting because it's become more modern, right? And before that, it was probably just getting together in the community and having community conversations. That's all it is, right? Today we have YouTube. Wide variety of information and knowledge and insights and perspectives. Before YouTube, it was a library. We just have a video library now, but it was a library before that, right? And library's still around, y'all. But, it just evolved. So that was a big part of that message. The second part of that message is that your blueprint is unique. And this is so, so important. I don't hear it talked about enough in this way. There's like a spiritual essence to you. There's a frequency to your energy. And I'm getting chills, y'all. I wish y'all could see my arm. Your energy speaks directly to the audience that is destined and needs your product, your service, your perspective, your voice. There is an audience tailor-made for you that will register to your audience. I remember in my journey, like when I was thinking about what I wanted to share, and I would feel like, well, I haven't been through some of the most horrific, traumatizing moments. So who am I to talk about my story of triumph? Who am I when I haven't gone through some of the worst things that I've heard people go through? And that was why I felt so inadequate to share my story, because it wasn't the worst case scenarios. It's almost like when we think about going to therapy and how we're changing the conversation around therapy. You don't have to experience some of the worst traumas to go to therapy. We all have things that have impacted us. Trauma is a relative, right? Pain is relative. It all depends on what you've experienced in your life. So things that might have been traumatizing to me, to someone who's been through something crazier, it might not seem significant. But what God told me is that, Sean, there's a woman like you, there's a girl like you, there's an older woman like you who has gone through life the same in similar ways to you, and who needs to hear your encouragement and your story. Because even though you may have not gone through the most traumatizing thing, there are still things that you've overcome. There are still things that you've expanded through. You are doing phenomenal work. You have done phenomenal work, and what you have to share is important. And there is a specific group that needs to hear it, a specific group that will hear it, and it will resonate from even from people's background, right? There's certain people, like, I can't receive their message because I don't relate to them, right? In some ways I can maybe enjoy some people's, but there's some people messages like, it's like, I don't understand you and I don't relate to you. So just know that your blueprint is unique. The way that you speak is unique. The way you draw is unique. The way you talk is unique. The way you move, the way you dance is unique. The way that you're going to put together that product is going to be unique. The way that you're going to market that product everything about you is special. Everything about you is so special. So remember that your blueprint is unique, and there is someone who needs it, who needs what you bring. And so we're releasing the mindset of, it's already been done, I don't need to do it, it's been done a billion times over, everything's been done a billion times over, babes. So the mindset that we are instead going to adapt is, what I have to offer is unique, and my people are here and waiting on me. They are only ever waiting on you. They are only ever waiting on you. Okay? Perfect. Next one. The next mindset that we are releasing is the mindset of failure. What if I fail? What if it's not good enough? What is hilarious, I'm literally seeing a middle finger right now on my light. That's crazy. That's so funny. Yeah, no, for real. Forget failure. Forget that mindset, right? Forget that mindset. The first thing I want to say is, you won't know if you're going to fail at something until you try. Remember, here we're talking about getting started, right? You don't know until you try. And I want to further debunk that and go and take this even further as to, let's define failure. Now, I was curious today, so I looked up what does failure mean. I'm going to read you the definition that I found, and I'm going to tell you how I interpret that definition. So, failure means the action or state of not functioning. When I hear functioning, I think doing, being, moving. So to me, when I read that definition, for me to fail would mean that I would have not even done anything, that I would have been inactive, that it wouldn't have been functioning, that I wouldn't have been moving towards something. So then if I'm not failing, I am succeeding. If you are not failing, you are succeeding. And succeeding means that you are getting closer to the goal. That is a success. When you want to lose weight and you eat healthy for a day and you get on that scale and the scale has not changed, that does not mean that you have failed. It means that you are succeeding because you are moving towards your goal. Success is not based on getting a certain result. Success for me has been redefined as moving towards what I ultimately am hoping to achieve. But the movement itself is success. And I guarantee you, with the movement will come success, will come you achieving the goal, right? But you must move. So let's redefine what it means to fail and all the ideas behind fear of failing. Sorry, give me 1 second. Yeah, reassess what you are believing to be fear and understand that it just might be foreign, might not be fear, might just be foreign. And I love that. So what you're perceiving as a threat, it's just a foreign thing coming through, right? So we're dropping the mindset of being scared to fail. We're changing our perspective around what it means to fail. Failure is you not doing. So if you're not getting started and you're not doing the thing, then yes, you're failing. And if you're scared of failing, you're actively doing it when you're not going after it. And to succeed is to try, is to start, is to do, is to be functioning and moving towards. That's been my redefinition. I would encourage you, if you like it, to adapt it. And so with this new mindset, we are adapting. Trying is succession. I am allowed to see me trying as success. That's our new mindset. Okay. Which actually goes perfectly into our fourth mindset, which is changing your goal point. So the mindset that we are releasing with this is the numbers mentality. A lot of times we do set goals based on a number. If I get 1,000 subscribers, if this video hits 1,000 views, if I make $1 million in revenue, I am considered a success. If this person reposts me, I am considered a success. If I get accepted into law school, I am considered a success. If I lose 100 pounds, I am considered a success. A lot of our goals are based in numbers, and then they are also based in things that we cannot control. So for me, I've changed my mind around it. When it came to the podcast this season, the reason I'm like so proud of this body of work is because this body of work represents consistency for me. It represents me showing up for me. I just like sometimes just scroll on my social media pages of my platform and I just look at all of the videos from all the episodes that I posted and I get so proud of me because I'm like, wow, girl, you were consistent and you did it. And when I look at your page, if I was someone viewing outside, I'd say, this girl cares about this thing. This thing is important to her. That's what I would say if I was watching it. She's been so consistent, regardless of whatever. This matters to her. This is important to her. And that rings true because it does matter to me and it is important to me. So I changed my goals from numbers because if you don't hit the number that you want to hit, then you feel like you fail and then you feel like you just shouldn't have even done it in the first place, right? You feel like this was a waste of your time and a waste of your energy. You feel like that. So the number, I'm sorry, I'm closing my second center because a lot of messages are coming through. So then the change your goal point to something that is a reflection of how you're showing up and a reflection of something that you can actually control. Because say law school is your thing, you can't control if you get accepted. Now, obviously you can control getting a good GPA and doing whatever work you need to do and being, your essays and your resumes, all that kind of stuff. You can control all that kind of stuff, right? But you cannot control the part about if you actually get in. You cannot control if the algorithm decides your video is going to be viral. You cannot control if your marketing tools function and get your product out to everyone and it sells out and you get $1 million in sales. Those are all things that are out of your control. All things that are measured by something outside of you. And so for me, what has brought me an immense amount of peace and pleasure and joy is bringing my goals back inward. So my goals look a lot more like my goal is to be consistent. My goal is to, and if it is a number, it's like my goal is to post 30 videos in 30 days. Not what comes of it, not the feedback. As I was watching this interview from Michael Todd recently, and he was talking about sometimes we're navigating based on feedback, not navigating based on feedback, right? So I'm not navigating this based on that. So it was, my goal is to be consistent. My goal is to put out an entire season for number 2. My goal is to have a guest on the podcast this season. My goal is to be honest within the season. Those are all things that are in my control and that I can celebrate when I accomplish those goals. So set goals based on things that you can control. And I have a think point for this one. And the think point for this one is think back to a moment, your one of your last successes, like your last success story. Here's my did she say ghetto story? Here's my ghetto story. Been through hell and the fire. I'm gonna take it higher. Here's my what's that? Survival. But anyway, sorry. When you think back to a moment or the most recent moment in your life when you were successful, take a moment, revisit it. If you were to tell someone about this success, how would you tell it? How would you tell it? What would be the important details of the story? The second point to this is change. The first point is change your goal point. The second is enjoy the process, because the process is really what matters. There's a song by Miley Cyrus, The Climb. She says, there's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. If you haven't heard that song, it's a good one. You did that, Miley, on that one. Yeah, I need to hear. I love that song. I need to play that back as an adult. I mean, I need to listen to that. Anyway. That when you think back at that story of your success, the story that you tell will be the story of who you became in that process. The story you tell will be the story of how proud you were, of how you showed up. It will be the story of the becoming. It will be the story of the journey. You will share the number and the thing, right? Because that's what gets people to pay attention, or that's a shiny object. But really what's important is like, what was that object made out of? And in your process, when you change your goal points to be internal, you're making something really special of yourself in the process, something that will last you forever, something that can go with you wherever, something that can never be taken from you. So change your goal points and bring them more inward. And so the new mindsets that we're going to be adopting, we're going to be releasing the numbers mentality, all that stuff. And we're going to be adopting a new mindset, which is I am satisfied by who I am and how I show up. What satisfies you, what satisfies me, what satisfies us is how we show up and who we are, not what we've accomplished or what we've done. It's something that the world has been talking about a lot, because we're realizing that putting our goals and things outside of us, it's just not sustainable, and it can be taken away. And so the things that are special are the things that could never be taken away from you, okay? The last and final mindset that we are releasing is the mindset of perfectionism. Child, be having us in a chokehold, baby. Be having you 1, 2, 3 down for the count. It's like the way that perfectionism keep y'all away. Cause I ain't saying I ain't with y'all no more. I'm releasing this stuff uncut, unfiltered. Be like, what's funny is every episode I watch, I'm gonna knock on wood, because I'm gonna say this is a past thing, but every time I watch an episode of mine for the first time, I don't like the episodes. It's like I don't like it. And then it's just because I'm being way too critical of myself. It's the same way when I'm out with my friends and they take photos of me and I'm like, I hate every one of these. And then I get home and I re-look at the photos and I'm like, oh, you know what? This isn't bad. It's just that like initial like dislike of something that I've done. I don't know what that's about. I think it's tied to the perfectionism. And then you realize that there's so much beauty in your imperfection. So the next mindset we're releasing is the idea of perfectionism. And with perfectionism, accept that, and just like we said in the first point, which is that you're at step 1 and you're not going to start where you're going to finish. You're at step 1, you're looking at step 100. So the perfectionism comes in because you know your potential, you know what you're going towards, you know the goal that you're seeing in your mind's eye, you know that. And so because you know that, you're trying to achieve it here, but the thing is that's going to be something that comes along with the process. So allow yourself to put out the content and to do the things and to correct as you go. I told you guys I was going to be starting cybernetics, and I did. And I've been reading it. And today I had such a good reading session. It's really, really good. And he talked about how the mind, well, the book is a lot about how our mind now works a lot like machines. Now, it is not a machine, but it works a lot like a machine. And he talked about like how you have a target missile, and that target missile knows its goal, it knows what it's hitting, it knows where it's going for, and it can kind of move based on, like, it has indicators that tells it how close and how far it is off, and it course corrects based on those things to hit its goal. He relates that even back to, like, if there's something like you're trying to pick up a pen, it's like your hand will go and pick up that pen. It knows how to navigate, and when you're a kid and it's still learning, it starts to course correct as it goes. Allow yourself to course correct as you go. Perfection is in the journey, it is in the joy, and is in navigating through that things become perfect, and everything is perfect where it is as it is in that moment. And it's perfect is the wrong way, because nothing ever becomes perfect, and we're always improving, because to be perfect would mean it would be like complete, and then to be complete would mean that you're complete here on earth, and that means like right. So uh we're always perfecting and revising and course correcting. So get started. We're talking about getting started. Get started on the thing and allow yourself to course correct and to change. As you guys watch this podcast, the logo has changed. My intro has. I changed the intro on the finale of the episode, on the finale of the season. Adding a little extra razzle dazzle, because I'm allowing myself to correct as I go. I'm not waiting until season 3. I'm not waiting until another period. No, I'm allowing myself to naturally navigate, naturally move through these things. And what better time to be doing all of this stuff, child, than why it's just me and a few of my homies watching. Right? So, yes, allow yourself to course correct. And so then the mindset that we are releasing is the mindset around perfectionism, and the mindset that we are adopting is, it is okay for me to pivot. It is okay for you to pivot. Trial and error is part of the process. So if you're scared to get started because it's not perfect, know that trial and error is a part of the process of life. Not even just what you want to do, not even just your dream. If it's a diet, maybe you'll start it and maybe you'll fall off. That's okay. You'll get back up and you'll do it again. Trial and error is a part. Maybe that diet plan doesn't work for you. Trial and error is a part. Course correct as you go. Okay. So, there were so many other points, guys, because there's so many things that we want to get started on. It's not always a business. It's not always things that might apply to this. There's so many mindsets that we get to release. And it is like my goal and my mission to change our perspectives around a lot of these different things that have kept us in a bind and believing that we are limited. That's why this podcast is here, because we be in shackles for just no ass reason, y'all. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it for me, and I'm sick of it for y'all. I'm sick of it for all of us, because it is time. It is time for us to be limitless. It is truly time. In the world, it is. It is. So I love to close every episode with, how are we deciding to be limitless? How am I deciding to be limitless today? Let me sit with this for a moment. I am deciding to be limitless and allowing God to perfect me as I go. If I had to close out this entire season with how am I deciding to be limitless, I would say I'm deciding to be limitless. Okay, chills. I would say that I am deciding to be limitless by believing in me and believing in God. This season has been amazing and a very beautiful journey of mine. And I sit and I'm in awe of it because of me changing my goal points. I'm proud of me for being consistent. I'm proud of me for showing up. And this season has just been like absolutely beautiful. I accomplished everything I said I wanted to accomplish this season. I brought some guests on. I was consistent with 12 episodes, which was 4 more than last season. I didn't miss a day. I didn't miss a time. I showed up consistently. I sat with God. I followed instructions. I followed the instructions. And when you follow the instructions, You can never lose. You can never lose. Yeah. So, wow. This is the last episode of this season. It's been such an honor and a joy for me to sit here with you guys every Tuesday and talk with you all and share where I've been and share my expansion through my journey of school, my journey of the podcast, my journey of life and navigating friendships, and just what an amazing time. And if you've missed any episodes from this season, like if this was your first one, child, you could watch through 11 other episodes of this season and 8 from season 1. It's lots of good content to binge on. And hell, rewatch episode. If I had to recommend some rewatch episodes for y'all, my favorite episode from season 1 was definitely You Never Lacked Anything. That's like probably one of my top favorite episodes. Time Management, amazing episode from season 1. Season 2, I would say episode with my mom, God's Crystals and Tarot. Oh, that episode was so good. My episode with Talani was so good. We talked about relationships. So if you want like love stuff, check out that episode. Episode with my best friend was really amazing. We talked about our process of break. I mean, this season was just so good, you guys. Even the individual episodes. Yeah. If you're having some self-doubt, we're at this point we're getting started. But if you're getting started might be too far ahead for you, watch Self-Doubt. Body and Self-Doubt. Because you need the body self-doubt to get started. Okay. I want to keep talking to y'all, but I'm going to go because I've been trying to even wrap it. It's 12 on the clock. And 12 a.m. 12 a.m. So I'm going to go. And it's been a delight, you guys. I will catch you guys in season 3, which will be premiering December 3rd. And these episodes will be launching on Sundays or being live on Sundays. So, yes. If you guys want to keep up with me in the mean and in between time, you guys can follow me at Authentically Sean. It's that on everything. And you guys can follow the podcast. And I will see you guys not next week, but next season. So subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast, rate the podcast. Let me know what y'all think about this season. Don't hold out on me. I love you guys. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.